Dolphins star wide receiver Tyreek Hill slowed down before even stepping onto the field. The scene just outside of the stadium captured on cell phone video by stunned fans as Hill was detained by police, even taken to the ground and handcuffed.
Welcome back to another episode of We the People University. I'm Abiyah Israel, former police officer, former sheriff's deputy. Picture this. You're going to your favorite football game to see your favorite football team. And right when you get to the stadium, you see your favorite football player, on the ground, face down, being roughed up by your not so favorite police, city police, cops, whatever. Well, that's what we have today. It doesn't matter. It doesn't stop. There's no wall, no boundary, no border, nothing that's going to stop cops from crossing over into ruining your life or your world or your day or whatever. They're going to ruin something. And I don't know. Before we get into it, though, I would like to read this email that I received from a viewer from Australia, and then we'll jump into the video. All right. This email is from Tony. He says, "Good day, Mike." That's my accent. "I've watched a lot of your stuff and others on YouTube, and I'm rather confuddled on what training is given to cops on pressure points. I have yet to see any examples, because all I've seen are cops trying to use brute force to get people to drop things, get their arms behind their back, and so on. I ask also because I used to teach self-defense to members of the police force here in OZ, and if you don't know what OZ is, I think it's Australia. It is Australia. As well as their instructors and members of the armed forces. Yet I see absolutely no or very little techniques on these videos. One surefire technique is the collarbone grip, which paralyzes the perp on the side briefly. It's very painful and makes them either totally compliant or at the very least, non-resistant. Anyways, I'm impressed with what you do, and from a small town here in Tasmania, I hope all goes well with you and look forward to your new stuff." Well, Tony, I'll say this. We were taught pressure points in the academy. Actually, we went over that quite a bit. And once you graduate the academy, though, as a police officer, the training that you had, and most of it was defensive tactics, it goes out of the window. A lot of police officers, men and women both, they don't really keep up with the training. You know, now you're on the job. Now you're just flexing your power, your badge, and doing what you want to do. And so training to stay up and stay fit, and also to stay knowledgeable on laws and things of that nature, doesn't really happen once you exit the academy. Hell, knowledge of the laws doesn't really happen inside of the academy. So you can imagine that, right? But in short, yes, we are taught that. Do police officers continue with that training? Not in most cases, I would say no. So anyway, let's get to the video. This video is not about sports, so don't think that. It's actually about another negative police interaction that a professional sports player, an athlete, had with the Miami-Dade Police Department. He's driving to his football game because the game's about to start, and he's pulled over. And the problem isn't that he's pulled over, it's what happened after he was pulled over. Let's jump into this and we'll talk here in a second.
Dolphins star wide receiver Tyreek Hill pulled over and cuffed on the side of the road right outside the Hard Rock Stadium on his way to the game.
And the Miami-Dade Police Department announcing an immediate review of the incident and placing one of the officers involved on administrative duty. So let's get right over to Will Manso, who is live at the Hard Rock Stadium with the latest on Hill's detainment. Will.
Well, the Dolphins are no stranger to controversy and drama over the years, but this one may top them all. Just hours before their season opener, and here outside of Hard Rock Stadium, their star receiver Tyreek Hill, the man who was just recently voted the best player in the NFL by his colleagues, was put into handcuffs by police. And the question now remains, why?
Keep your window down. Keep your window down, I'm gonna get you out of the car. As a matter of fact, get out of the car. Get out of the car.
Dolphins star wide receiver Tyreek Hill slowed down before even stepping onto the field. The scene just outside of the stadium captured on cell phone video by stunned fans as Hill was detained by police, even taken to the ground and handcuffed. Hill played the game and said this afterwards about the incident.
I've been trying to figure that out too, man. Right now I'm still trying to put it all together. It wasn't disrespectful, you know, because my mom didn't raise me that way. Didn't cuss. I don't want to bring race into it, but sometimes it gets kind of iffy when you do. You feel me? So
And here's what we have to be honest. And I know he says, I don't want to bring race into it, but sometimes, you know, we just don't know. Well, let's just be honest. Sometimes it is race. And if anyone tries to deny that, then you're just lying to yourself. Sometimes it is race. Sometimes it's just the cop just wants to pick on you, or sometimes the cop's just a tyrant. And back to the race part, it doesn't matter what race, but race can play a part. It can be because you're black or Hispanic. It can be because you're white. Sometimes it is solely based on the race why that particular police officer has targeted you. It's called racial profiling. It's not like it's, you know, not known to happen. It happens quite often. But in today's policing, it's not only race. It's race. It's I'm an asshole. It's I'm a tyrant. It's do what I say. It's I'm the superhero. You must listen to me. It's just the cop himself. But there are several things that play a factor in these tyrants when they violate people's rights and arrest people falsely. And sometimes race, I agree, is a part of that. Let's keep watching.
What if I wasn't Tyreek Hill? Lord knows, like, what that guy or guys would have did. You feel me? I was just making sure that, you know, I was doing what my uncle always told me to do whenever you in a situation like that. Just listen. Put your hands on the steering wheel. Just listen.
Hill was stopped by Miami-Dade police for a driving violation and eventually cited for reckless driving. I drove past the scene on my way to the game and saw Hill's agent, Drew Rosenhaus, by his side. We spoke to him on the field a short time later.
There's no criminal charges. He wasn't arrested. He just got a ticket for reckless driving, evidently, going into the stadium. We'll obviously dispute that. That's their version.
Florida reckless driving statute. Any person who drives a vehicle in a willful or wanton disregard for the safety of a person or property, they're guilty of reckless driving. Okay, understand the statute. Here's the problem with the statute. That's vague. Let's just be honest. That's vague. It's left up to my interpretation to determine if you're driving recklessly. And guess what? Even if you're speeding or going a little bit above the speed limit, all right, I could say, you're driving recklessly. Now you can fight that in court and you can disprove it. But at the time on the street, now I can determine, because the way the law is actually written, it's vague. I can determine you're driving recklessly and you may be like, I wasn't driving recklessly. We have two different understandings of what reckless driving is. But guess what? The cop's understanding is going to be the understanding that is going to go, at least for that moment that he pulls you over. Now we see in this video, and you can hear initially he's telling the driver, Tyreek Hill, roll your window down. Okay, his window's not down. And later in his interview, he says he kept his hands on the steering wheel. There's no law for him to roll his window down. He said, okay, we'll get out the car. Okay, well, he can legally order you out of the vehicle. That's lawful. But the question everybody's trying to figure out is, why, when you got out of the vehicle, were you face down on the ground in handcuffs? And later we're about to watch and hear that when your teammates showed up, guess what happened to them? Well, they got cuffed too. Let's keep watching.
But the most upsetting part is the way that he was treated. Tyreek's not a guy that should be at his own stadium in handcuffs. We're going to look into it. This isn't over.
But how it got from a traffic stop to handcuffs is the question Miami-Dade police now face. In a statement, Miami-Dade Police Director Stephanie Daniels said, quote, following the incident involving Tyreek Hill, I have initiated an internal affairs investigation to ensure a thorough review of the matter. One of the officers involved in the incident has been placed on administrative duties while the investigation is being conducted. I'm committed to transparency and accountability to the community with any situation involving my officers, end quote. For his part, Hill celebrated his touchdown in the Dolphins' win by throwing his hands behind his back as if he were in cuffs, and afterwards saying he appreciated the support of his teammates.
Now, for any of you guys who don't know about Florida policing, let me just fill you in really quickly. Okay, if I had to cast one vote and whoever gets this one vote would win, and this vote was to find out who was the worst police department in the entire state of Florida, Miami-Dade police would get my vote. Long before I was a police officer, I had a run-in with Miami-Dade police officers. These guys are different. They're very different. They're rude, mean, nasty on a different level. Okay, I was a teenager in Miami for the first time, South Beach, just trying to have some fun. And on the way home, well, guess who I run into for no good reason? It was these guys. They thought I did not have a driver's license, but I did. They see my driver's license. It was a big ordeal. Long story short, when they finally gave me my license back, the guy takes my driver's license and he throws it at me. and it just hits me in the chest. And at that time, I didn't know my rights. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know he couldn't legally treat me like shit. But he did, and I didn't know that at the time. But it was Miami-Dade. Won't bore you guys with that story, but let's keep watching.
The story does not stop there. You heard Hill reference teammates coming to his aid. One of them, Calais Campbell, a newcomer, even ended up also in handcuffs. Clay picks up the story from there.
Yeah, Campbell and also Jonnu Smith, another one of Tyreek Hill's teammates, actually saw Hill being detained by police. They stopped by the side of the road to see what was going on. And as you mentioned, Campbell himself ended up being detained.
Disobeying a direct order, which I think, I guess I wasn't, he said I was too close to the scene, and then I think he said something about like me not moving my car in time, but, I don't know. I mean, he told me later that I could stand 25 feet away, and that's fine. I was definitely further than 25 feet away when it happened.
It's obviously, I was checking on my teammate, so it was some words said, and, I just wanted to make sure he was good, and, just concerned about his safety, man. Obviously, we all see the police brutality that goes on in this country. And, when you see your teammate possibly being a part of that, you're doing everything in your power to help him. So, that was, unfortunate situation, but we made it through. Yeah.
Really just happy with the way that our team came together when teammates were in need. I think that I was proud of other guys jumping in to try to help a teammate, and then all the support.
And Will, that seemed to be the common theme, that they were very thankful that nobody was hurt and that everybody kind of came together after everything that went down this morning.
So let's be honest. It's not because I'm a football fan or a sports fan. I'm like, hey, why did you pull over Tyreek Hill? If he was driving recklessly, if you were speeding, then you deserve to get your ticket, be pulled over. Don't drive reckless, don't speed, don't put anyone else's life or property in danger. Not saying that. What I am saying is, knowing this department, Miami-Dade Police Department, they were lying. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you ask me, they were lying. I believe nothing they say. Absolutely nothing. Again, if he was reckless driving, understandable. Okay, you pull him over. The question still remains, why is he on the ground handcuffed face down if he's not resisting you, he's not attempting to harm you, there's nothing going on, simply because you are upset? He didn't roll his window down when you thought he should have rolled his window down. So that for that reason, face down, the middle of the summer, hot Florida pavement, in handcuffs. It's typical Miami-Dade Police Department, very typical. Listen, this is why we always have to record the police, because if you don't record the police, these videos will go unknown, unnoticed. Well, actually, it won't be a video because you didn't record them. So make sure you record them so we can have video, just in case you have a bad interaction or encounter with the police officer. We can at least begin to fight. Always know your rights and always record the police. With that being said, We the People University, signing off. If you're one of the viewers who reached out saying that you're not getting any of the We the People University notifications, I have a solution. By texting WTPU to 844-764-2158, I can personally notify you whenever we publish videos. Text WTPU to 844-764-2158 and you will receive a text message notification with the link every time we publish a video.